Welcome to this EasyPKU app tutorial. You can use the YouTube chapters below to skip to the section you wish to learn more about. You can also pause the video at any time. First, create an account using Apple, Google, or email. Then, create a user profile for yourself or your child. If you're waiting for someone to share their user profile with you, the app will automatically select their profile as soon as it's shared. When creating a profile, enter the first name, followed by your preferred calculation method, the one you're accustomed to. Type in how many units you can have each day, whether it's fee, exchanges, or proteins. You can change these numbers later if needed. Now, decide how to track your formulas. Is there a set number of formulas you need to take daily, or do you weigh them in grams? Enter the number of formula units, or grams, you need to take each day. Lastly, choose how you read food labels. Are you accustomed to serving sizes or nutritional information per 100 grams of food? Now, click Create User. If you chose exchanges as your preferred calculation method, another screen will now appear, asking you to choose your country to determine the amount of milligrams of phenylalanine that makes up one exchange in your country. If your country is not listed, you'll have the option to select a manual value. If uncertain, please consult a professional or your local PKU community. The app is now ready to use. At the top of the home screen, you can see which user is currently active and today's status. This includes the number of units remaining to spend today, whether it's fee, exchanges, or proteins. It also shows how many formulas you need to take and the number of calories consumed if you choose to track calories. Below that, the daily log shows what you have consumed that day. You can edit or delete log entries after you've added them, if necessary. To add a new entry and update today's status, tap one of the two large white boxes at the top, depending on whether you're consuming units, like fee, exchanges, or proteins, or taking a formula. In this example, let's use some of the available fee by tapping the first white box. Here, you can specify how much fee you're using. Note that you can enter 0 fee if you want to log food without fee. Next, type in the name of the food or meal. Select the meal of the day, and optionally, a different date than today. If you tap the More Options button, you'll have the option to further specify the amount of grams and calories. When you're ready, press the white button at the bottom of the screen. The daily status has now been updated, as you can see on the home screen, and your entry has been added to the log below. Now, let's add a formula to that meal. Tap the second white status box at the top. If you're only having one formula with this meal, leave the number as is. Next, select the formula you're taking. If you haven't created any formulas in the library yet, the app will help you create your first formula. In this Create Formula screen, specify the name of your formula. It can be anything you like. You can also specify whether the formula contains fee, exchanges, proteins, or calories. Users measuring formulas in grams have a separate field just for that. Tap Save Formula at the bottom. We're now back at the Take Formula screen, and your newly created formula has already been selected. Now, specify which meal the formula belongs to and finish by tapping the white button. And voila! Your daily status is updated, and the formula entry is logged under the correct meal. Now, let's head over to the calculator through the menu bar at the bottom of the screen. The app offers two calculators based on how you read the food label. The default calculator for you will be based on the label type you chose when you created your user. You can switch between the two calculators by pressing the gray button below the calculator. The first time you open the calculator, a few help texts may appear. These will disappear, but can always be brought back by tapping the question mark below the calculator. The same applies to other areas where help texts are displayed. At the top of the screen, you will find the search field, where you can search for foods stored in your library. The search field also connects to a global food list. Below the search field is the fee concentration input. This is set to 50 by default, since most foods contain 50 milligrams of phenylalanine per gram of protein. Fruits and vegetables usually contain 30. However, these guidelines don't always apply to all foods. If you're uncertain, please consult a professional or your local PKU community. The following fields vary depending on the chosen calculator type. Let's first examine the servings calculator, as displayed here. In the protein per serving field, Enter the amount of protein in grams per serving of the food you're having, typically found on the food label. After filling this out, you can complete either one of the two bottom fields. Entering the left field, servings, will calculate the amount of units in your food on the right, either Phi, exchanges, or proteins. Entering the right field, which represents either Phi, exchanges, or proteins, will calculate the number of servings on the left. Tap the white arrow between the two fields to switch between them, or simply tap the field you wish to edit. If you'd like to add this meal to today's status, tap the Log This Meal button. Now, let's switch to the grams calculator by pressing the gray button below. This calculator also contains the Phi concentration input as explained before. Below that, you will find the protein per 100 grams field, which represents the protein content in grams per 100 grams of food, usually written on the food label. After filling this out, you can fill in either one of the two bottom fields. Entering the left field, grams of food, will give you the amount of units contained in your food on the right, either Phi, exchanges, or proteins. Entering the right field, which represents either Phi, exchanges, or proteins, gives you the amount of grams of food on the left. Tap the white arrow between the two fields to switch between them, or simply tap the field you wish to edit. If you want to add this meal to today's status, tap the Log This Meal button. Now, let's visit the library. The library contains all formulas and foods you've registered in the app. As with the calculator, the search field here is also connected to a global food list. To add foods or formulas, tap the plus button at the bottom right. Since we've already covered creating a formula, let's create a food item instead by tapping the blue food button. The fields inside the Create Food screen vary depending on your chosen food label type. You can change your food label type by editing your user profile. First, let's create a food using the servings food label type, as displayed here. Enter the food's name and then choose the Phi concentration. We explained this field's function when discussing the calculator. Enter the protein content in grams per serving, followed by the serving size in grams. The app will now show how many units, either Phi, exchanges, or proteins, this food contains. The calorie field at the bottom is optional. Now, let's save the food. The food has now been added to your library. To add this food to today's status, simply tap the food. Now, let's create a food using the per 100 grams food label type. The name of food and Phi concentration fields are the same as before. Below that, enter the protein content in grams per 100 grams of food. You can go ahead and save the food now if you'd like, as the two bottom fields are optional. However, we now only know the Phi and protein concentration of the food, so it can only be used for calculations with the calculator. To enable the option to add this food to today's status, fill in the serving size field as well. The app will now calculate the number of units in your food, either Phi, exchanges, or proteins. The calorie field is optional. Now, save the food, and it will appear in the library. To add this food to today's status, simply tap the food. Next, let's explore the Tools section, which provides powerful features like user sharing and data export. Edit your user by tapping the profile icon. The Settings button is to the left of the profile icon. Tap it to enter settings, where you can change theme color and language, delete your account, and more. If you use exchanges as your preferred calculation method, you can change the exchange settings here. Back in Tools, the Manage Users button is to the right of the profile icon. Tap it to see a list of all your users. Here, you can switch between users, as well as edit, delete, or create new ones. Below the Profile section, several large buttons provide various tools. Blood Levels lets you record your blood levels based on your blood test results. The values you log will appear on a graph. You can record different dates and edit or delete already logged values. The Share User tool lets you share the currently active user with anyone you'd like, such as a family member or teacher. The user will update in real time on all devices whenever changes are made. You can share the user with as many collaborators as you want. You can choose between limited or full access mode, depending on how much access you wish to grant. The various access levels are explained below the fields. Note that the person you wish to share the user with must first download the app and create an account to enable sharing. Once you've shared the user, A gray Collaborators button will appear at the bottom of the Share User screen, allowing you to revoke access if necessary. Let's now look at the Export Data tool. Here, you can select a date range from which to export your entries. Both food and formula entries within the selected date range will be exported. Once you've chosen the date range, press the Export to PDF button. A PDF will be created showing all the information from the selected date range, including all your meals. Depending on your phone type, press the Share button above or below the PDF to save it to your phone or share it with others. We've now reached the end of this video tutorial. We hope you found it helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us via our website, easypku.com.